Right, here we go. So I believe we're live now. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks Jess for joining me today. And I want to say hello to all of you out there right now. And this week, again, I've got another client interview, and I've been wanting to share this lady's story for a while now. I'm so happy and grateful that she jumped on today, because this lady has been part of our small group program for quite a while, for a few years, and she's had lots of setbacks during that time, and she's achieved a stack of a lot, and she's one of our funniest members by far. She's got a great sense of humor, and I want to share Jess's story to all you guys, and hopefully maybe inspire some of you out there as well. So Jess, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Legend. Hey, take us back to when you started with us. What prompted you to join in the first place?
I think there was a few things. I think I was about to hit 30. So that's always it. I think I just sort of gotten bigger, and like I used to always play sport and sort of competitive, and just sort of kept getting injured and sick, and then so sort of retired from sport, I guess, and just wasn't really comfortable in myself or my body, and kind of looking for a change and needing some help or support to get there, or to get back to the way I wanted to be, or get back on track. I had seen a friend on Facebook as well that was a Core Fit member that had a massive change.
That was Lauren, right?
Yeah. So she was a pretty big inspiration. I don't know if she knows that, but I had seen her dramatically changed, and I thought, oh wow, that's awesome. So I kind of thought, oh, well, she's a real person. She's very genuine. You guys must be real people and very genuine. Like sometimes when you see those things on people losing weight, they're often fake or not real, but when you see someone that you know, it kind of resonates a bit stronger. I was kind of in a bit of a rut, kind of just looking to change.
Awesome. I was so glad you did. And what kind of drew you to the small group stuff? What did you like most about the small group kind of program for you?
Well, I played a lot of team sports when I was younger, and so I kind of like being part of a team, even though you're working out individually. It's kind of more appealing when you've got other people who are suffering as well. But I think too, I tend to get overwhelmed in the big groups or big gyms. Kind of lost my confidence, so I thought the smaller group would be a better go for me. I think too, like with the smaller ones, you get more support and more feedback, and like you get the demonstrations, and then after you've sort of gone for a little while, you get to know everybody and feel more comfortable. And
some of the conversations you guys have crack us up. Absolutely, we love it. And tell us about some of the things you've achieved along the way. Like, actually, before we go there, tell us about some of the setbacks you've had to overcome, because you've had injury, you've had, you've had some battles with your mental health, you've had some things going on. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to share your story, because I think it's super inspiring, and you've actually been one of the most resilient people probably met, to be honest. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you've had to kind of overcome.
Had a lot of challenges. I took some notes. I wanted to give it a real proper go, even though I'm usually really silly in class. I wanted to be professional.
No, don't definitely. We're not professional. You shouldn't be.
Well, then there was so many, and I started writing like an essay.
Yep.
I felt like I had setbacks from like the first week. I'm pretty sure a friend passed away, and then I got tonsillitis like week 1. So I was already like bailing week 1, and I was like, damn, I look terrible. This is just not. But yeah, I just sort of found, oh, well, physically I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of chronic pain with my lower back. That just so painful. And same with my hip. I had a lot of hip pain, and they they were really difficult to manage. So like I went to a lot of different physios and doctors, and sort of had trouble keeping on top of it or figuring out what was even causing it. But yeah, and then you kind of like at your natural, coming from a sports background, my natural instinct is to ignore pain and push through. But then I think that backfired. So then I was even more pain. But I found like with the small group, you guys were amazing at modifying exercises that I could or couldn't do. When things got really bad, like physically and mentally, I know I went back to just doing, I combined my sessions to do just one-on-ones. And that was the right thing at the time. Like, it was better than doing nothing. Like, I think just to keep pushing through, but change things to do what you can, or do what, yeah, because I always like the feeling of exercise, or after exercise. Yeah, I think what, I forget the question. What have I done? What have I really worked through?
What are some of those setbacks? Well, you mentioned a few of them already, right? Like, yeah, exactly right. Tonsillitis, losing a loved one, having being able to get your injuries. Like, I just remember where you were at when you were doing the one-on-ones, and
Yeah,
what you were limited to doing, but you still had a great attitude, and you were focused more on what you could do rather than what you couldn't do. And as frustrating as it can be, that kind of thing. So, but I think with that, you kind of, I felt like you kind of, from getting through that and persevering through that. And I know you've gone and got some support with like physio and things like that to help you through some things. But now you've kind of come out the other side, and yeah, I think you to me anyway, you I feel like you're in the best, probably you're in the best shape that I've seen you in since we've met, since you've been here. So yeah, I just think it's testament to you for really working through that and not giving up on yourself, which is awesome. So well done, great job. And as a result, tell us about some of the other things you've achieved. I guess obviously you've lost some weight. You've got some PBs going on with what you're doing here. Tell us a little bit about those. What are some of those things you're kind of more proud of as well?
Well, yeah, a lot of the things just sort of chipped away at. Like, I think I didn't have a dramatic weight loss at the start, like some clients do. Good for them. But I think I think if you've ever been from a sports or competitive background, you know what good feels like, or what fit feels like. So you're kind of chasing that feeling a bit, or chasing that former part of yourself, which I think too, when I because I had cancer when I was 21, that had a big impact. And so you kind of realize how important being healthy and fit is, and looking after yourself. So I've lost 15 kilos, or just slightly over, which feels good.
Awesome.
It's sort of I think that's a classic chipping away strategy.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
figuring out what works for you. Not everything works for everybody else. So trying to figure out what you like, what you're good at, or what what's in your best interest. And then sometimes that changes too. Like I feel like I've gone through different phases where I went to the one-on-ones, and then I went back to the small group, and then sort of built up back again. So like this week I did 5 sessions, so that's a lot. I did 4 with you guys and 1 on the side. But the building stamina, I wouldn't have been able to get through 5 sessions at all when I first joined. So losing 15 kilos, working on strength, so being able to deadlift, so I can deadlift 100 kilos on my best day.
Strong, man. Woo! Remember
that. Getting back to running, like just even if it was just shuttles and then shed laps, and then getting back to playing soccer. That was a really important one for me.
Yeah, that was huge for you, hey, because you, like you said, you really enjoy your sport, and that was something that you had to put on the back burner, didn't you, with your injuries? So that's been so good seeing you get back into that. I know you love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I feel like I've had a lot of flow-on effects where physically and mentally, where I was in pretty bad shape when I first joined. Even I'd have really bad anxiety. I'd sometimes not come because I was just too anxious, or I'd make it to the front of I'd park and then not be able to come inside. So I've obviously worked through that. So now I park and I come in. I used to be so paranoid if I was late that I'd blown it and then I couldn't come. Just sort of getting over some of those small but significant barriers.
Yeah. Yep.
I think too, like with the small group, having a time that's set and a day that's set and it's locked in, and then all you have to do is show up, and then you're just almost there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think even socially, like everyone at CoreFit is really lovely and makes you feel welcome and part of the team. So that really helps to be consistent and feel supported, and like you. Yeah, I think that helps be not just like your standard gym or physical space. It's got a community or social, good people. Yeah.
Good coffee buddies.
Yeah. Well, that's how I ended up rejoining soccer, because of finding someone at the gym and then finding someone who was looking for a player. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. That's so good. I mean, we've unpacked a lot there, but again,
it's a lot of waffling.
no, not at all. You've achieved heaps, and again, you should be so proud, and we're really proud of you. I know a lot of the other, members who train here with you and know you well, and they love training with you. You're good fun to train with. Hey, the last question I want to ask you before we wrap up is, like, what's your advice for someone else out there who maybe they've got anxiety, right, around gyms and stuff, and there's plenty of people who do, and I totally get it. And maybe they're struggling a little bit mentally, or they've got some injuries going on, and they're kind of a little bit in the dumps. Like, you've been through that. You've kind of worked through it. What would you have any advice for anyone else out there who may be struggling as well?
I would say just invest in yourself, like kind of without your health, you've got, I think your health is everything. So I think it's hard to I think the first part is just figuring out what works for you, or sussing out, like, okay, maybe a small group's the way to go, or maybe you just want to dip your toe in and just meet the trainer before you see if that's the right thing for you. And then if you have a buddy, that probably is always a good thing. If you've got a sister or a husband or a best friend or a work colleague that if you've got someone that's got your back to push you on, that's very helpful. But I think just jumping in where you're at, don't wait till you're perfect. Just sort of, just start and then commit once you've, I think, once you commit and you make it consistently, and I think some people think that, oh yeah, I tried that once, or I did 1 week. Sometimes you get an idea if that's the right fit for you, but I think to do it properly, you've got to commit to a chunk. You've got to do several weeks or months before you start to get to a place where it's well, it's hard work. But
Yeah.
I think you just have to work with what you've got and do what you can.
Yeah.
And just sort of keep going. Like I feel like I'm still going. Once you have good flows where things are going well for you, and then sometimes you'll fall off a bit or have a setback, whether you get the flu or you've got some injury or something else works really stressful. But I think I think instead of making exercise or health like an extra or an add-on or an afterthought, you really, to make it work properly, at least for me in the early phases, is to make it a priority and then really work other things around it or build it into your life. I think that's what works for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right, man. That's great advice. Yeah, great advice. So
just keep persevering. Be stubborn. Just keep going. Even you might have to change strategies or slightly modify things, but I think you're better off to keep going. Yeah. Just chip away.
Chip away, slide right, that's right. I mean, that's in the end of the day, it's a long-term game, isn't it? So you've got to take the ups with the downs a little bit. But you've been a great example of that, Jess, and we're so proud of you again. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know it's not easy being vulnerable and getting out there, but again, we do these to help maybe someone who's watching, or a friend of Jess, or someone who doesn't know what we do here or whatever. But it's more about just sharing people's stories and helping you to understand, maybe if you haven't done anything like fitness before, that it's these are real people who have experienced real results. But at the end of the day, the journey is not always sunny with no traffic. There are days where you're going to hit roadblocks and obstacles, but if you persevere, you've got the right people around you and a support system, then you can come through that. And Jess is a great example. So thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. You've been awesome. I look forward to continuing to crush it with you. And you have a great long weekend. Enjoy.
You too. Thank you.
Rest up, and we'll see you again next week. Everyone else out there, thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you all very, very soon. All right. Bye for now. See ya.
Bye.